Hello, my name is Alyssa, and today I'm going to talk about straightening your render in Photoshop. There are many different ways to ensure that your verticals are vertical. One way is to start a render with your settings in Rhino. If you set your view to a 2-point perspective, it will make sure that your verticals stay vertical. One way to set up a good render for yourself is also to make sure to have an appropriate lens length. 50 or more is very helpful. It's not perfect, but it'll get you there. Additionally, if you set your Z target and Z location to be the same height, that means that you are looking straight, and that will set your verticals to be vertical. But say that you want to have, say, the perspective of a child looking up into a tall space. That will be very difficult if your Z target is the same as your Z location. As well as, for instance, maybe you would like a wide view. So you want to set your lens length to something shorter than 50. In that instance, it may be wise to edit your render in Adobe Photoshop. One thing I will say though, if you choose to do that, just remember, if you're going to straighten it in Photoshop, there will be some of your photo that inevitably gets edited out. So if it's important to you to have a section, a specific view, and a specific item in your view, I would say maybe try and do a 2-point perspective in Rhino first to see if you can still obtain the perfect view, or set yourself up knowing that your edges will be cropped. I'm choosing to take a view from Enscape. I will then open this PNG in Photoshop. Once I've opened the view in Photoshop, I can begin to manipulate the vertical lines. I always like to make a copy, layer new via copy, turn this guy off, just in case you have to revert to any previous version of your image. Under View, you can choose to show a grid, and this will superimpose vertical lines on your image. Control T. When your layer is selected, you can right-click, and these are your transform options. You can pull the image and just pull it to where it starts to look, the verticals start to look vertical. When you have the image adjusted the way you want it, hit enter. It's going to readjust your image. I like to take my grid off and evaluate what it looks like without that screen. It looks pretty good. This technique is especially good if you are taking a site photo, one that you're unable to, for some reason, get straight or level when you're taking the photo, and you've got to straighten out buildings. If you have tall buildings and you're too close but you can't get far enough back, you can come in and use these techniques and then marry your render with your actual photo from your site. One thing that does happen when you do this is you sometimes lose some height. It makes your object look short. One thing you can do is bring your object back up to the height that it was before you skewed it. So you can do that transform again. You have your object selected. Control T. If you just want to transform one direction, hold Shift and just pull that back up. That way you can keep the drama and the aesthetic of the tall space. And that is one way of creating a render where you have straightened your vertical lines. Thank you.